Hi, everyone. Susan Brady here. Thank you for joining me. So, lots of studies popping up recently in regards to the importance of targeting chronic systemic inflammation as an overall approach to bone loss and osteoporosis. And I know you've probably heard me talk about inflammation many, many times before, including to often referring to anti-inflammatory foods or spices. And the reason is because chronic systemic inflammation, in the opinion of many, is the root cause of so many diseases and conditions that we become more vulnerable to as we age. So, just to name a few, brain health, inflammation in the brain impacts our cognitive function and plays a role in developing dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease. Heart health, inflammation affects our heart and arteries and can cause atherosclerosis, including the risk of heart disease and strokes. Inflammation in our intestinal tract and our liver increases vulnerability to GI issues, fatty liver, and overall toxic buildup in the body. Inflammation affects our muscles and can trigger loss of muscle mass and pain and weakness, and a condition called polymyalgia rheumatica. And then lastly, of course, inflammation stimulates bone loss, leading to osteoporosis and increasing risk of fractures. And that's just to name a few. Inflammation really affects almost every single organ in the body. So there are several different causes of chronic inflammation. And number one in my book, hands down, is gut dysbiosis. And there have been many studies linking gut dysbiosis with systemic inflammation, including osteoporosis associated inflammation. So when there's an imbalance in the gut microbiota, it can lead to intestinal inflammation, which then can lead to gut permeability or leaky gut, which then can result in low-grade systemic inflammation throughout the entire body. And generally, why we develop dysbiosis is because of our diet, a diet of processed sugary foods, alcohol, or eating things that you may have an intolerance to, like milk or eggs or wheat. All of these foods can disrupt the gut microbiota. Another prominent cause of chronic inflammation is obesity. And it's been known for a while that our fat cells, particularly abdominal fat cells, secrete what we call pro-inflammatory cytokines, or molecules that promote inflammation. And interestingly, researchers have found that fat tissue of lean people predominantly secretes anti-inflammatory markers, whereas in obese individuals, the fat cells secrete more pro-inflammatory markers. And then going hand in hand with obesity is physical inactivity. So how is it that lack of activity could cause inflammation? Well, in general, moderate exercise actually helps to enhance our immune function, which then in return helps to regulate inflammation in the body. Stress is also associated with increased inflammatory activity. And when you have stress that's ongoing or it's chronic, it just continues to exacerbate that flame of inflammation. Sleep deprivation can cause inflammation. And there are a couple theories as to why. One theory is that during sleep, our blood vessels relax and our blood pressure starts to drop. However, if you are chronically not getting enough sleep, your blood pressure doesn't drop, your blood vessels don't relax. And then that in turn can trigger the cells in the blood vessel walls to activate inflammation. And then another theory in regards to sleep is that when we sleep, that's when our body does its house cleaning. It gets rid of the toxins that have accumulated throughout the day. And if you're not getting enough sleep, this doesn't happen. Those toxins begin to build up and can trigger inflammation. And then in regards to toxins, overexposure to toxins in our environment, such as air pollutants and chemicals and pesticides and tobacco, as well as toxins in our personal care products, can contribute to inflammation. So if you want to prevent chronic inflammation, you need to, one, make a conscious effort to monitor what goes into your body. Not only the foods you eat and the beverages you drink, but also what chemicals you're exposing yourself to on a daily basis. You also need to make time for daily exercise, and it doesn't really take much, 30 to 45 minutes aerobic activity along with some resistance training, at least 4 to 5 days a week. You need to manage your stress and do your best to get a good night's sleep. And then lastly, if you have any GI distress, please get it checked out so you can heal your gut. All of these things can go a very long way to help you regulate inflammation in the body instead of exacerbating it. I also have an anti-inflammatory diet handout. I'm going to put the link to it in the comment section of this video so you can see what foods you should be including in your diet that are most beneficial for curbing inflammation. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day and a healthy week.